Hey guys, my name is Josiah, and on my channel I simplify the complicated world of bass fishing so anybody can understand. And today I'm going to be teaching you how you can read a contour map. So contour maps are basically, it'll show you the depth that is in the water. So all the different lines will mean like a different depth. So it'll show you your slopes underwater, it'll show you your creek and river channel, it'll show you where you can find all these different things when people tell you, oh, I was fishing a channel swing bank, or I was fishing a ledge out somewhere on the Tennessee Valley lakes, things like that. You'll be able to find anything you need to find on a contour map after this video. Okay, so the program I'm going to be using in this video is called Navionics. This is all the mapping on Garmin electronics, all of that, that's all Navionics. All the contour maps, they all look pretty similar. They all do about the same thing. So either way, you should be able to apply this to whatever you're going to use. And the Navionics app, you can either get it on your phone or you can go on a computer back here, which is what I'll be using in this demonstration. But on your phone, it'll do the same thing. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this. All right, guys. So we're on the computer now. So I'm going to show you just first how you get there. So to get there, what you want to do is you're going to type in your search bar webapp.navionics.com, and then you'll just put enter, and then it'll pull up the online map here by Navionics. And so it starts you over here for some reason, but just go over here. And then today I'm going to start off with Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. So this lake is a highland reservoir. As you can see right here, their dam is right here, and this lake is made in the Ozark Mountains. So all of these little like creeks and things is just a little valley, what would have been a valley. So first off, what I'm gonna explain is what are all these lines. Like if I zoom in right here, you just see all these lines. Like what does that even mean? So all these lines, if you could imagine, like this right here would be slope. Like every single one of these lines is indicating change in the depth of the water. So if I look, let's say I'm gonna look at this point right here, and then you've got all these lines coming off it. Where there's not lines, there's not change in the water depth. So like down here, this is the creek bed. It's almost flat. As you can see, there's not very many lines. But right over here, all these lines are super tightly packed together. And all those tight packed lines, that means that it's sloping or coming up very quickly. So the more lines there are closer to each other, the more change there is in the depth of the water. So right here, you'd have, this is a medium change right here where there's a little bit less lines, but there's still a good amount of lines. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines right here. So it's a slower slope. But if you look in the range over here, there's a ton of lines. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's probably 40 lines right here. And they're all super close together. And that is what shows you that steeper drop off. And then when you go right here, so right here, this big ditch in the middle where you can see these tight lines on either side, that's the original river. So that's the channel. So if somebody ever says the channel, this right here, that is the channel. So how do you tell if it's going down or up? Well, part of it is you'll just kind of understand it once you learn the map. Like you can kind of see it, like on this point, this is going down. This is what lines that are going down looks like. Right here. And you can just kind of, anytime anything is near the bank, usually it's going to come down and then flatten out like it does here. You'll also notice on Navionics, when you're looking around, you'll see some of these blue lines right here. As you can see, those blue dotted lines right here. That is indicating that there is a creek right there. So this right here will then be a creek, because this is showing that water comes in right in this corner right here and flows back out, as you can see the blue lines. And then up here, this is what a more major creek will look like, where you'll have these lines right in here. Those lines are a more major creek, or a more like a larger scale creek. There's gonna be more water coming in from wherever that's at than, like, say, a creek that's over here with just these blue dotted lines. So if somebody ever tells you that they're fishing channel swings, a channel swing is where the river channel or the creek channel turns. So, like, on Lake of the Ozarks, it's really obvious to see this because this lake just winds around so much. But, like, say right here, this would be a channel swing where it turns, and you can see the channel right here comes up against this wall. So the channel is coming down through here, and it's gonna swing down by this bluff wall, and you can tell that it's a bluff wall by how thick these lines right here are. Those lines right there are extremely close together, and as you can see when I zoom in, even there's still a ton of lines super close to each other, and that shows you that it is indeed a channel swing. Also, these riverbeds will act as a highway for the fish. So they'll kind of like follow these more than they'll follow like these flat areas over here. They'll still come in these flat areas, but typically when they're coming just down the lake, or when they're traveling somewhere, like say they were gonna come from this little cove right here, say they spawned in this cove and then they want to come back into this creek over here, they'd come out of here and they'd follow this channel right here over here into this creek. And the reason that that's important is you can find fish just by doing that. The times of the year where fish are moving, you can just fish channel swings and you'll find fish. Like this bank right here is good just because if you're in that time of year where the fish are looking to move at all, and they were coming out of here, or they were coming out of over here in this creek to this pocket, you'd be able to catch some fish on this bluff wall right here, just because they'll travel with the highway right here. So something else I'll explain is what these symbols are. Like right here you got this little sailboat symbol. The little sailboat symbol on Navionics, that tells you that there's a marina right there. So you can also look, some of these marinas will show you a little gas symbol. That means you can get gas there. And that can be important anytime you know that you need to fill up. You can just do some research before you get to the lake, and you'll know that you can get gas there. Also, Navionics will show some boat ramps on some lakes. Like on Lake of the Ozarks here, we have a boat ramp right here that it's showing. And not all of them will be public, so don't just pull up to somebody's boat ramp and put your boat in. You got to do your research on whether or not it's public. Like here's another ramp. I highly doubt that's public. I do not think it is. But yeah, it'll show you where boat ramps are. So if you're fishing some boat ramps or anything like that, you can find those easily. Alright, so now I'm going to show you what contours typically look like in a creek. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go down here. And then, so here, and when you get up the river of a lake like this, it's much harder. You see how you can see the riverbed out here? When you get here, up in here, this is the glaze arm. When you're up in here, you can see it's much harder to see where that creek channel is. So you just want to pay attention to that, and pay attention to these dotted lines that are around here, because they will help you see where that creek channel is. So when you're in a little creek like this, it's extremely flat coming into it, but it will still show you where that creek bed is, because they can't 100% have every little contour down there. They just get what they can get. So there's still a creek bed that runs right through here. and then it'll swing across. So like if somebody says that they're in creeks on the channel swings up the creeks, this right here would be what that is, where it is swinging from this side to this side, and then they're over fishing this bank right here. Or they could also, where it swings over here, they could be fishing this bank over here as well. All these yellow things, if you couldn't tell, are boat docks, and boy, Lake of the Ozarks has got a lot of them, so it can be a little tricky to see your contours sometimes if there's a ton of boat docks, but usually you can still see them. But like on this point right here, you cannot see the contours under it, so just keep that in mind. If you're on PC also, you can click somewhere on the lake. So I'm just going to go to this little cove right here. If I click right here, it's going to bring up this little crosshair thing. You can click on that and click on it again, and it'll bring up what depth you're at right here. So this is at 8.2 meters. So if I want to change my units here, I'll pull it up from menu, settings, map options, and here you are. So you've got satellite mode, which will give you what the banks look like. So then you'll be able to see, it's like Google Earth a little bit. And then you got terrain, which will show you the topo maps for the land as well. I usually use no overlay, but sometimes I use satellite in certain situations, but usually I use no overlay. If I want to change my units on here, I can go here in the units section and menu, settings, units, and then I can change it. Like if I want to change it to miles per hour, on my fuel, which you can do on here as well, you can route things. So if I go to like automatic route, whatever my boat settings are set to down here, it'll give me how long it'll take me to get somewhere, how much gas I'll burn, which can be very, very good for you. So like say I change my boat settings to my cruising speed at 60 miles an hour, and my fuel consumption at say 5 liters an hour or gallons an hour, and I come back and I just put 2 points. Say I've got a tournament coming down here out of PB2. I can just come down here, boom, put my first point, and then put my end point. So let's say I'm gonna run all the way up here to the Gravois. Just put my second marker down, and it will automatically map this out for you. Alright, so it's got me mapped out now. It took it about 10 seconds. It'll give you these little caution things, which is where you might want to be careful running through, but I mean, usually you're good with what they say, but that's also because the system doesn't always know if it's routed it the right way, but usually it still is correct. But this will just, it'll bring it up here, so all the way to my end spot up here, and it says going 60 miles an hour, it'd take me 16 minutes to get up here, and burning 5 gallons an hour, which is probably a little low, but you'd be burning 1.3 gallons of fuel, and it says it's a 16-mile run from down here. So now I'm going to show you on a different lake what it looks like real quick. It's usually pretty similar, but let's look here. So we got Lake Guntersville in Alabama. This lake will definitely look a little bit different because it's more of like a river-style system and not like a curvy lake. So if we look here, you'll see all these little globs out here. So you're like, well, what are these? What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Well, all those are either humps or divots out in the lake. And the way you can kind of tell is just by reading the numbers on here. Like this is 27 feet at the top and 43 feet out here. So this is a hump. This right here again is a hump. And you can kind of just tell by the look once you get used to it. But yeah, these are all humps out here. And I mean, it's relatively similar to Lake of the Ozarks in the way it looks on a map. It's just a little bit flatter. So like this is a thinner creek bed right here. That comes all the way up here. All the way up in this little thing. And once again, you got a flat part up here. This is your flat part, and then this is your creek channel. And I mean, that's about all you guys need to know. I mean, this right here is a creek bed right here, so that means that water will come in the lake from right here. Also on these maps, it can show you like where wood is. In some places there will still be wood even if it doesn't say it, so don't always take that 100% like, oh, there's no wood over here because it doesn't say it. Sometimes it will not say it, and on some lakes it doesn't have the feature where it says it at all. So but you can see up here in Town Creek there's a bunch of wood, bunch of trees. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys one last lake just so you can get the feel for it, and then we'll be out of here. Alright guys, so now I found you guys a smaller lake here, and a lake like this will not have, you won't be able to find that defined creek channel like what we had on the other lakes. So that's what makes this unique, is how much shallower it's gonna be out here in the middle. Like over here, I mean, it's just straight up, it's almost flat out here in the middle. This lake only gets to about 80 feet deep at the most out there by the dam. But it's still pretty similar. Right here you can see a shallower area coming up. Right here, this is a shallower area because there's less lines, and this is coming up to the bank. So once again we got some underwater. This is an underwater hump right here. This is a flatter area. There's a long flat, and then it's got the drop off right here, but it's a slower drop off still. This is where it slowly comes up. This is where it's once again just slowly coming up on all these places. And then here's another big flat area. There's some timber right here, and yeah, I mean, you guys got the gist of it. It takes time to get used to these maps, but over time you'll get used to them and you'll be able to do well and find fish using contour maps. Alright guys, so thank you for watching today. Please like the video if you liked it and if it helped you out. Make sure you leave a comment with your questions. I'll get to all of them if you have any. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.